Hey Kevin, let's take a minute and reflect on the evolution of the LineTacks. You know, it's what 4 years ago, 4 years ago.
Yeah, it might have been even longer. I think it was back in 2013. You had the line layers,
The original ones, yeah.
the original ones, and they had spikes on them. But I was just thinking how the line still goes off the boat if it misses the line layer. So I was like, you got an old one, and you gave me an old line layer you didn't need. I cut it into strips. I screwed it into my tow rail.
That was already on the boat.
Right, the tow rail was already on the boat, but the line just seems to just blow right over the tow rail.
There's nothing to grab it.
Nothing to grab it. So I'm thinking, anything to make it better. It's, fly fishing's hard enough as it is. So I took those line layers and screwed them on there. I used it for 6-8 months, and I thought it was an amazing improvement. And then we just had to figure out, say, how's it going to stay on there and look right, And that's when you came up with some great ideas on how to do that.
Yeah, it was tough in the beginning because my first idea was to, number one, try to figure out how to mass produce a rubber spike. I tried to find somebody that already made it, right? So why reinvent the wheel? And I couldn't find anybody that already made it. So then it was designing the spike, and people go, oh, that looks so simple. I had that idea. I thought, it's actually really complicated because you need the flange to keep it from pulling through. You need the height. You need the right material so it doesn't break. And
the right plastic.
The right plastic.
Right.
Yeah,
we went through that.
rubber.
Remember?
We went through that because the first
rubber
ones
would
were gummy.
go bad.
Yep.
Yeah, and the sun would eat it up, and then they would get stick to the fly line.
Yeah,
and then this is great.
I was a little deterred because I was physically going out and measuring boats, drilling holes in the tow rails and putting them in. It was a nightmare, and I'd have to charge like $400 or $500, and it just didn't.
Because it would come through the tow rail.
Yeah,
the first one.
The first, like Gen 1, and then actually it was Brad Mead in the office one day. He and Alex had just started working. They were doing marine mat for us, and he goes, "Why don't we make these little pucks and stick it down?" And at first I thought, I don't know if that's going to work, because I was trying to think about sticking it to the tow rail. And then all of a sudden we started playing with it and testing it, and we actually stuck them to the deck of the boat, and they stuck and they worked. And we had the marine mat. So at that point, I just went out and found a die cutting machine, and then there's a tool maker in Tampa that made the die that actually cuts these. We actually cut these in our shop on a big press. It's an air-driven pneumatic press, and it punches out, I think, 36 at a time, and then we put sheets in and cuts them out, and with big boxes.
And the adhesive is great. It holds really well.
Yeah, so then there's another version that we came up with that's elliptical, and some people ask me, well, why is that? Well, if you're familiar with drift boats or other boats that have polling platforms,
like
rails,
the edge right here.
Yeah, like on the edge here.
The coping on an aluminum boat, it just sticks right there.
So it gives you a little more surface area, and this is also for guys that if they've got existing tow rails, they can wrap it around the existing tow rail and it'll stick down. And I've seen folks, I think a couple guides down here just stick them inside of their tow rails. But
yeah, I know a guy that does that just inside it. It works really well.
Yeah, it's amazing how well they work. But it all started from your idea of taking the old line layer originals and cutting them into strips and screwing them down on the tow rails, and everybody mocking us and making fun of you.
I know, for a year and a half, guys are like, oh, it looks dumb. What is that? It's stupid. And I'm like, man, it works. Keeps the fly line on the deck.
Yeah, and I think that what makes it work is that you don't have to keep all the line in the boat. The line, if only one loop drapes and hangs over, it stops the rest of the line from getting pulled into the water.
And it loops over top of it. I've seen that time and time again. It's a great idea, and you innovated it beautifully. I just came up with the idea for the tow rail, but the way you've innovated it is
well. We had to make it available to the common guy that's far away, because saltwater market is very small. If you compare it to the freshwater, it's maybe freshwater's 100, saltwater's 1. So I wanted a way that we could put it in a little baggie or a box and sell it across the world. And doing it this way, we're able to accomplish that, and the price point is affordable. It's less than a fly line.
Well, I definitely think that the freshwater guys, they will see the benefits of this too when they start using it and they're in their drift boats and it's windy. It's the same help just as in saltwater.
And we've got them in a variety of colors. We've got clear, we've got toffee, ice blue, mint green, which is a light green, a light gray, and black. I think black and clear are the most common colors. But that's the The final name turned out to be LineTack, one word, Lights. Light because we didn't have to drill and do a bunch of monkey business. We just put it on the pad and stick it to the boat.